All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are now going to get into previewing the Chiefs Bengals game for this weekend, another matchup between Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. One of the best games of the weekend. Now, both teams, when it comes to week one, Chiefs, of course, got the win against the Ravens by their tippy toes. And the Bengals losing that game to the Patriots as they continue their early season struggles. And usually when we get this matchup, it's later in the season. But we're getting it early on. So, might not see... The way Joe Burrow played in week one, I mean, who knows how he's going to play in this game. But, I mean, Mahomes looked like he was in midseason form. And, Joe Burrow's coming back, still trying to work his way back from the wrist injury. And I know people still have their concerns with that, with the viral video of him trying to pick up a water bottle, which was not a big deal at all. I don't know why people are making such a big deal out of that. I've definitely picked up water bottles like that in my life. Now you'll say, well, you didn't come off of a, wrist surgery. Yeah, but I really don't think he was struggling to pick up that water bottle. Now, obviously, when he's, flexing his wrist, yeah, that concerns me. But, I mean, him simply picking up a water bottle, like, guys, what are we doing? Seriously. But, yeah, these two guys matching up once again, really excited for this game. The Chiefs right now are 6-point favorites. The line opened up at 4. The Chiefs were favored by 4. Now it's 6. And in my spread pool, I think it's 5.5. A lot of people are on the Bengals, at least on CBS. 73. The public bet, it's 73% Bengals, 27% Chiefs. And then the money line right now, it's Bengals plus 215. And the Chiefs are minus 267, and the over-under is 48. Yeah, I mean, look, last week, like I said, Joe Burrow did not play well. The Bengals offense got shut out in the first half against the Patriots. Now, they should have had 7, but Tanner Hudson just, I don't know what happened on that fumble. He literally was a walk-in touchdown, and he fumbled. So I don't know what happened there. And yeah, I mean, they lost to the Patriots, a team that, is not really expected to be good this year. But again, this is what the Bengals do. They start off the season slow. And then as for the Chiefs, they get off to a fast start, with the win over the Ravens. And this game is in Arrowhead. And the last time that, these two quarterbacks faced off was, you got to go back to the 2023 AFC Championship game, the 2022-2023 season, and the Chiefs won that game. Last year they met in Arrowhead, these two teams, but Burrow did not play. Of course, Jake Browning did, and the Bengals actually were winning that game. They were up by 10 points, but the Chiefs came back. It looks like there's going to be no T. Higgins in this game, so that's going to be a problem. So, some of the young guys are going to have to step up. Yeah, for the Chiefs, look, their defense, I mean, Lamar Jackson ran all over them. Now you got Joe Burrow, who, he can get out of the pocket when he has to. But, that Chiefs defense, I think, is going to have a better game than it did in week one. I think they're going to get pressure on Burrow. And, I don't think, I like the Chiefs in this game. Just because, again, they're at home and the Bengals getting off to this slow start. I think that's going to continue in this game. And no T. Higgins, I think, is huge because now all their focus is going to be on Jamar Chase. And, they got some young guys that are unproven. So, and with the running back situation, you got Zach Moss and Chase Brown. Zach Moss did have a touchdown in the game last week against the Patriots. But, yeah, and with the Bengals defense going up against the Chiefs offense, I think Mahomes and that offense is going to put up points. I mean, the Bengals know how to play against the Chiefs. So, this game definitely can be closer. It's always a 3-point game. But I don't know. Because the Bengals got off to a slow start, I can't really take them with the points. I'm leaning the Chiefs in this game. But we'll have to see. Both teams struggled against the run last week. Like I said, Lamar Jackson, really gave that Chiefs defense a hard time. The Bengals gave up 170 rushing yards to the Patriots. So, we'll have to see what happens. But, I like the Chiefs in this game. I'm going to say they win by a touchdown. I'm going to say they win. I'm going to say 27-20. I'm going to say 27-20 Chiefs win. I mean, again, it's another week for Burrow to get right, but I think that's Chiefs pass rush with Chris Jones. I think they're really going to bring it, and it's going to be a problem. And like I said, T. Higgins being out, most likely being out, is not good. So, some of the young guys are going to have to step up. And how is this Bengals defense going to be against the Chiefs offense? I mean, you saw last week. I mean, they could beat you in so many different ways. Now, I mean, the offense is miles better already than what it was last year. Adding Xavier Worthy, they might be getting Marquise Brown back this week. Rashee Rice had a good game. You still got Travis Kelce. This Chiefs team, like I said, they look like they're in midseason form already. And I think that's going to continue in this game. Now, would I be surprised if the Bengals pulled off the upset? No, because Burrow in the regular season is undefeated against Mahomes. Now, it's all been in Cincy. Now this game's in Arrowhead. And the last time these two quarterbacks matched up, it wasn't Arrowhead. It was in the championship game a couple of years ago, and Mahomes got the best of Burrow. So, if the Bengals win this game, then, you could call Arrowhead Burrowhead again, So, that was... Why the Bengals did that, it's just, and I get it. Trash talking is part of the game. But, when you do something like that, you better hope you win. Because if you don't, it's going to look so bad. And it did. And not only that, a couple of years ago, you had the mayor of Cincinnati, with the paternity test to determine that Burrow was Mahomes' father, it's just like, why? You just look silly after the fact. But, most of America is going to be rooting for the Bengals in this game because they just want the Chiefs to lose. So, I think Burrow will definitely play better than he did last week. But, I'm leaning Chiefs in this game. I just think, right now the Bengals, they got to work through their struggles. The Chiefs, they're rolling already. So, and I'm saying that because they went against a good Ravens team. It's not like, they had an inferior opponent. The Ravens are in the same, you'd say the Chiefs are in a class of their own, but the Ravens are right behind them when you're looking at, the rankings of the teams in the NFL. The Ravens are one of the best teams in the NFL. And, the Chiefs offensively looked good. Now, Mahomes had that boneheaded interception, right before the end of the first half. But you know what? That's going to happen. And I don't think and like I said, I don't think their defense is going to get shredded like it did against the Ravens because Burrow's not Lamar Jackson. So they're going to bring pressure, and I'm sure Jamar Chase is going to get a lot of double coverage. So, this is going to be a tough game. And can the Bengals establish a running game in this game? Because, the Chiefs, that was something they struggled with last week. That was something they struggled with last year. And, this is a game you kind of wish you had Joe Mixon, because Joe Mixon has done well against the Chiefs in the past. And look at what he did last week with the Texans. So, we'll see what happens, but I like the Chiefs in this game. I mean, it should be an entertaining game. I hope it is. One of the best games of the weekend. But let me know what you guys think, though. How do you see this game playing out? Like I said, I got the Chiefs winning 27-20. So, we'll see what happens. But before we go to break, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the $ icon in the chat. This will help create a super chat of any thought or comment you may have that I will acknowledge during the live broadcast. And it just makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate your guys' viewership each and every day as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, if you don't do that, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. So, when we come back from our next break, we will get into more previewing. We will look at, some of the college football games for this weekend. Again, the slate is not great. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about the early window games for Sunday as well. We're week 3 in the college football season, and of course now week 2 in the NFL. So that's what we're going to get into. I know I didn't really. I also, I know I talked about it a little bit, but get into some of the matchups from last week on college football, because this whole week was NFL. NFL just took over the entire week, and that's really what's going to happen now going forward. The NFL is just going to dominate topics here. But so that is what we will get into when we come back from our next break. So, with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.